Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and you're watching The Brown Feminist. Now in today's episode, I will be telling you exactly how much it realistically costs for me to live, work, and survive in the city of Ottawa in Ontario, Canada. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now the first and most important item is rent. Now, as you know, rent in any city can vary and there can be quite a big range depending on if you're living alone, living with roommates, living with family, if you want to have a whole like 1-2 bedroom apartment or you want to live in a studio. So for the sake of this video, like I said, that this is going to be a living cost of one person who is single and living alone. So in my case, I decided to go for a 1-bedroom apartment. In reality, I could have gone a little bit cheaper by going for a studio or going for, living with roommates in a big house. So because I am a full-time working professional, I can live in a 1-bedroom apartment. And unlike before, this time I did prioritize kind of living a little bit close to the city center. So while I don't live at the very core of downtown because it can get a little chaotic, I do live in one of the neighborhoods just next to downtown, which means I'm still very close to any kind of entertainment, amenities, groceries, shopping, whatever else I need. The bus routes here are very frequent, and I'm also actually pretty close to my work. Now, having said that, what I pay each month in rent is actually $1,575. Now, this might sound a little bit steep, and the truth is I could have gotten another 1-bedroom for $1,400 up to $1,600. So I am kind of like in the middle to high range of a 1-bedroom. Of course, there are some luxury 1-bedroom condos that can go up to $1,800 or $2,000 a month as well. For Ottawa, though, $1,575 will get you a decent, large-size 1-bedroom apartment. And this building does give me a lot of amenities. Now, that is why I actually chose this one over the $1,400 one apartments. Now, what do I mean by amenities? For example, my building comes with a beautiful indoor gym that is open 24/7. That means that each month, the $50 or $100 that I was going to spend on the gym can now be saved. So that actually counts towards this rent. Similarly, there's an indoor pool, there's actually space to keep your bike, there's indoor parking, and many other things. Now, for me personally, I do take the bus. However, we did get parking because I am getting married later this summer. And so once my fiance moves in, he will need the parking full time. So the parking in Ottawa and in my particular building as well is $130 a month. So that brings us to about $70.05 a month, I believe. So this covers rent. Now, because I am not the one who has the car or the driver's license, I also have to get a bus pass. So that's the number 2 ticket. Is to commute, you need to get an OC Transpo monthly bus pass. Now, I am very sad to say that compared to my life in Montreal, my life in Ottawa is actually more expensive. Whereas I was paying between $85 to $89 a month in Montreal for a monthly unlimited bus pass, I'm paying around $126 here in Ottawa for that same bus pass. And compared to Montreal's public transport system, Ottawa's one is not as reliable. For most of it, it's good, but there are times when the bus is late, there are times when they break down, or they just don't show up for a particular time point. So there's that. So far, that's what we have. We have rent at $1,575, we have parking at $130, we have a bus pass for $126. So Ottawa's starting to look quite a bit expensive. Now, one of the reasons that I actually took a much bigger, spacious apartment, which has like an en-suite, like dishwasher and everything, and there is on-site laundry, which is almost always available and very clean and very well maintained and everything, and the building has like a beautiful lobby and all of that. One of the reasons is also because I could have gone for a smaller apartment, but my fiance will be moving in once we get married full time, and so at that point we will be splitting the rent. So if you are a couple, I think it is worth it to get something in this price point because there's enough room that you guys will have enough storage space and won't keep bumping into one another. And you can, of course, by splitting it, it comes to about $850, $860 a month, which is not bad for the cost of what one person needs to spend to survive in Ottawa. Now, the next item that I want to talk about is groceries. I don't know if this is true or if this is just my mind playing tricks on me, but Ottawa feels a lot more expensive grocery-wise than Montreal did. Now, of course, I know there are other places in Canada There are more remote communities. There's places like Nunavut and Yukon that I've heard of where it is crazy expensive, so it's not like that. But maybe due to recent inflation or whatever it is, my monthly grocery cost for just myself and maybe just to host my friends and family now and then has gone up from being $400 a month to being $600. Now, note that for my groceries, when I say 400 or 600, this amount doesn't just cost the raw food I buy. I almost never eat out. So it's all the food I ever eat, including the lunches I take and the snacks I take along with me. But it actually also includes anything that I buy from the grocery store. And that would include any kind of cleaning reagents, laundry, soap for the dishwasher, hand soap, shower shampoos, or anything else, cat food, or anything else that basically comes out from the grocery store. Now, next up, let's talk about other expenses. For example, utilities. Now, utilities in Ontario, I have been told, is a bit more expensive than that in Quebec. However, my utility bill is pretty good because the apartment that I took actually provides central heating and central air conditioning that is not included in my hydro. Because they're central, the building costs kind of cover them. So the only hydro that I have to pay for are actually things I'm using within the apartment that's not central. For example, just lights and any kind of extra fan I want to put up, TV, computer, fridge, this kind of items. The apartment does come with its own dishwasher, which you might think, okay, that's going to increase hydro, but I live alone, so I only use it like once every 3 days. So my hydro bills have not been crazy so far. Apart from that, I also don't have an ensuite washer or dryer, which does mean there's an additional cost associated with it. So overall, for utilities that focuses on hydro within the apartment, I pay around $40 a month. For laundry, it depends on how many loads you do and how frequently you do your laundry. But typically, I only do laundries on the weekend, so I do 2 loads of wash and 2 loads of dry. So that usually costs me like around $12 to $15. So let's say if I do that every single weekend of a month, then that's about $60 of laundry per month. Now, these are all of my essential costs, but then I have a cell phone, and for the cell phone, I have a data plan, so that comes to around $85 a month. Beyond that, all my expenses are really discretionary. Paying for tenant's insurance, I pay it at $20 a month. I pay for my cat's health insurance, cat food, which is on top of my groceries, and vets bills and things like that. But those will differ from person to person. Really, in Ottawa, I would say it is a little bit more expensive to go out and have a fun time compared to Quebec. I feel like a lot more things were free for the public on Sundays, and museums had free options, or locals had to pay less, or young people under 30 had to pay less. Those things I don't see a lot in Ontario. So whenever I go out, I usually drop like $100. So I don't go out a lot. I usually go out maybe once every second weekend to have a fun dinner with friends. And it usually costs me about $50, $60 for a nice meal. Or if I go to the movies, it'll be the same. For the movie, the popcorn and everything, it'll be like that. Now, one big criticism I will do is that where I lived in Montreal, I actually had access to a movie theater, which was very cheap. I guess it wasn't a part of a chain. It was locally owned. So each movie ticket was always like between $6 to $8. And they have latest movies, and it was a pretty good hall. It's not like a crappy hall. But in Ottawa, I don't know if there's any like that. Everything seems to be under a chain, like the Landmark Cinemas or Cineplex and things like that. And movie tickets are pretty expensive. I haven't seen anything below like $15, $16 minimum. And then they always add up. You get a Coke, you get a pop. It's like, before you know it, you're paying like $40. But it is what it is. There's lots of beautiful parks and other places to go in Ottawa. So one of the great things about the location I have picked is that I do have a beautiful river view and a park right next to my apartment building where I can go for a walk and have a picnic. There's groceries and everything else nearby. My work is also just 1 bus ride away. So all of that does help me to cut down costs on a day-to-day basis. Usually when I come back from work, I don't have the energy to go out and spend money anyway. So the most I will do is just open the door, either go downstairs to the basement for a gym workout, get a swim, go to the park, get some run, feed the ducks. I shouldn't be feeding the ducks, but I still feed the ducks, and so on. So that is my overall total cost of living in Ottawa, where you can see by far the most expensive thing I'm doing is like paying rent at $1,575 plus $130 parking. That is going to be split in two from the end of the August, which is why I have chosen this apartment. But if you're looking for something a lot cheaper, then you can go for something as low as, I would say, $1,400 for a one bedroom, or $1,200, $1,100 for a bachelor if you want to be reasonably close to the city. If you want to live further away from the city, Weston, Easton, one of these suburbs, if you want to live in a basement, then costs can go down to like $1,000. If you want to live with roommates, costs can go down to like $500, $700 a month as well. So it really depends on what you're looking for, but realistically, this is a sweet spot in Ottawa where you're not like super in the center, you're not living in like Byward Market or Financial District. So it's not chaotic. There is no parking in Byward. Sometimes there's some chaos, and like I've heard of shooting happening in Byward and things like that. I think Ottawa is in general a very peaceful city, but it does get a little crazy in Byward and the core downtown area sometimes. So the sweet spot is really around it. Kind of like Vanier used to be problematic, but now it's an up and coming neighborhood. There's Sandy Hill. There's other places around it, even close to Chinatown and that, where you will find just a great balance of a good environment, still close enough to the city to get all of your amenities at walking distance, good bus routes, and just a lot of food and vibrant culture and just lots going on in Ottawa. You can walk to like Parliament Hill and see all of the beautiful like government buildings and ministries, which is really the charm of Ottawa being a capital city and a government town. You go further away and then you're in a suburb where, unless you're driving, like drive is like 20-25 minutes to go anywhere, you need to take the highway. Waiting for a bus in a suburb is like a 30-minute wait, and then you wait, and then you take multiple buses to even get to the LRT. So I really think that the place that I'm living in, kind of like right outside of downtown, but not in a suburb, is the sweet spot. Especially if you're young, if you're single, or like, you know, you don't have a lot of homebound responsibilities, you like to go out a lot for runs or walks, or just check out a new like event happening in town, or try a new restaurant. If that's the kind of like lifestyle you're looking for, then this is a very good spot to live in. So that is it for today, and this is my total. I have not calculated it, so I will put it on the screen right here. That is my total monthly minimum living expense of living, working, and surviving in Ottawa on a daily basis, a monthly basis. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time. By the way, don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more content like this. This is the Brown Feminist. Bye.